Hello, and welcome to Unity of Fredericksburg. My name is Linda, and I'm pleased to welcome all of you to the Unity of Fredericksburg weekly online gathering. At Unity of Fredericksburg, we're advancing the movement of spiritual awakening and transformation through unity, a positive path for spiritual living. We thank those of you watching on YouTube live or later and invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you're able to attend live, we encourage you to join us in the Zoom community room for the full Sunday morning experience, including music, prayer, and connection. Our weekly newsletter includes the Sunday service link, and you can subscribe to receive that on our website at uofva.org. For everyone local to Central Virginia, Unity of Fredericksburg offers a variety of fun and enriching in-person gatherings every month. Subscribe to our weekly newsletter at uofva.org for all the details. Our message today comes from our minister, Reverend Cheryl Fair. And now, here's Reverend Cheryl.
Thank you, Linda, and welcome, everyone. Welcome all of my friends who are in the Zoom room with me right now, and all of you who are watching on YouTube, whether you're watching now or later, or picking us up on Facebook when the recording goes out there. We are so pleased to have you as a part of the energy that is Unity of Fredericksburg. And believe me, whenever you're showing up or watching, your energy is present with us in community, and we're so happy about that. So, our broadcast date today is Sunday, January the 18th, and I want to start off by talking about tomorrow, which is Martin Luther King Day, January the 19th. And as we all know, Dr. King is widely regarded as America's preeminent advocate of nonviolence and one of the greatest nonviolent leaders in world history. At the age of 35, he was the youngest man at the time to have received the Nobel Peace Prize. So today I'm going to be weaving quotes from Dr. King through my talk, and I'll get us started with a couple of quotes from Dr. King. Here's a good one. Returning violence for violence multiplies violence, adding deeper darkness to a night already devoid of stars. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. Listen to that last bit again. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. Yes. And here's another quote that not as well known, but I find it very interesting. All life is interrelated. We are all caught in an inescapable network of mutuality, tied in a single garment of destiny. Whatever affects one directly affects all indirectly. We are made to live together because of the interrelated structure of reality. We are made to live together. So I really like that quote because it reflects the essence of community. And we all live in community, right? We live in community in our daily lives. We live in community here online. And here at Unity of Fredericksburg, we are a collaborative spiritual community. So I have my role on Sunday mornings and coordinating Sunday mornings. And our community kind of makes up the rest of the energy that's Unity of Fredericksburg, and we always have plenty of things going on. I personally thrive working in creative community collaboration. So today we're talking about our new theme for 2026. So as most of the folks who are members of Unity of Fredericksburg are aware, one of the things I do at the end of every calendar year is I host community discernment sessions, which are open to anyone in the community, whether you're a member or not. We come together, we spend time in meditation, and we ponder what is up for us. What do we want to explore in the way of spiritual growth? And we also generate ideas of activities that we can do to support our transformation as a community and as individuals. So at the end of 2025, I had held two discernment sessions on Zoom. I also communicated with folks via email and text if they were not able to attend the Zoom. And then once I had gathered all of those responses from the community, I went into my own time of reflection. And I'm asking myself what's coming up for me, what do I want to be talking about and doing in the year to come when it comes to personal growth and spiritual growth. And with all of the information from the community, I'm looking for patterns. I'm looking for themes of what it is that is up for our community. And so, what came up for what's up for us in 2026? Unsurprisingly, this was a combination of continuing to learn and explore how to use our spiritual tools to address the challenges of our personal human lives, continuing to learn and explore how to use our spiritual tools to address challenges interacting with our outer world, so other people, situations in the outer world. So, wanting to address our own personal things within us, how we deal with our outer world, and then also continuing to learn and explore aspects of our inherent divine nature. So, wholeness, oneness, principles such as the 12 powers. So, all of this makes just perfect sense because in unity, one of the things we talk about is that we are inherently human, and in our human nature, 100% of the time, we're doing these lives through these bodies. I speak with this voice in this life. We all have our human lives, and we're also inherently divine expressions 100% of the time. So we want to do our human life in the best way we can. And we want to have regular reminders that each one of us is expressing the divine at the point of us. So, from all that was shared from those discernment sessions, I came up with three focus areas to create our annual theme for 2026. So we've announced it on Sunday mornings. Those of you who receive our newsletter have seen it. So our theme for 2026 is We Are Present to Life, Intentional in Action, and Whole in Spirit. So those three movements, if you will, of the theme reflect that desire for us to be addressing what's up for us personally, what's up for us as we interact with our outer world, and what's up for us in staying in touch with our divine nature. So each month of the year to come, we'll kind of be focusing on one of those statements that are in the theme. So in January, our focus is on being present. In February, our focus will be on being intentional. And March, we'll focus on being whole, and then we'll continue that rhythm throughout the year. So let's talk about what those statements mean. So, what do we mean when we talk about being present? So, being present has to do with realizing that the only point in time or space or anything, the only point where we can affect change in our lives is right here in the current moment. Being present in the here and now. So, we will be looking at how we can use our practices of prayer and meditation to anchor in our truth in this moment, here and now, not racing ahead as our brain likes to do, racing ahead, imagining what might be happening, making plans for the future. Not that, not leaning back into the past with regret or ruminating about things that have happened in the past. Not that, but right here, right now. Being present also means using our spiritual tools to address the challenges of our human lives. So, learning to give and receive forgiveness, developing a sense of ease and grace around the process of human aging and life transitions, navigating things like grief and loss, and bridging the sense of separation that our brains are very interested in engaging in, that there's polarity, that there's separation. And, how do I talk with people who have a different idea about things than my idea? These kinds of things are all a part of things we will be talking about when we are focusing on being present. So here's a quote from Martin Luther King that links up with all of this. Here is the true meaning and value of compassion and nonviolence. When it helps us to see the enemy's point of view and to hear their questions. And if we are mature, we may learn and grow and profit from the wisdom of the brothers and sisters who are called the opposition. So there is King talking about what I would say is, being present with someone who has very different beliefs than you do. And, it's something that comes up in our different communities that we're in. Like you found a new friend, and then you discover, oh, they have different beliefs than I do about some things. How can I be present with them? So those are some things that we will be talking about in the months to come, and questions that you can kind of plant in your consciousness now and start reflecting on. Being present also means using our spiritual tools to notice and be grateful for all the good and beauty that is present in every moment in our human lives. So all the things I was talking about before are all kind of in the challenging category, right? We also will be talking about being present to joy, to gratitude, laughter, grace, and the beauty of surrender. Oh, what does that mean? Those are all things that we'll be talking about when we're focusing on being present. So take a breath with me, my friends. As we reflect on being present, here's an affirmation that we can use to kind of get our consciousness rolling along the lines of being present. So here it is. I'll say it once. You can repeat it with me at home, okay? I am present to life in wonderful and healing ways. Say it with me, my friends. I am present to life in wonderful and healing ways. So, if you're a note taker, then jot that one down, my friends, and have it around you as a reminder. I am present to life in wonderful and healing ways. Okay. Now, the second kind of stanza of our annual theme is about being intentional. Now, at Unity of Fredericksburg, this community has an abiding interest in issues related to social justice. And that shows up in lots of ways in our community. It shows up in the way that we direct our financial giving as a community. So, as a community, Unity of Fredericksburg is a tithing community. So we, take everything that comes in and then we give to organizations in our local community, and we make those choices together as a community. How are we going to do that? And that has to do with our priorities of what we think is important in the world and what we want to be giving to and seeing grow and thrive in our community. And then we also have activities and service projects that line up with our priorities. And as we focus on being intentional, it will show up on Sunday morning with topics such as spiritual activism and cultural awareness. So, those are things that'll be coming our way um, on a community level around being intentional. Now, on an individual and personal level and spiritual level, we will explore being intentional when we look at questions like, what is my purpose? What is mine to do? How can I be the energy of love in action in this situation or that situation or that situation? So we'll be looking at an ongoing practice of aligning our choices in our daily lives with our spiritual beliefs and practical application of our spiritual beliefs, because one of the things that happens is when we let our brain be in charge, our brain's going to make choices based on what's happened in the past and what's likely to happen in the future and all these kinds of things. And we find ourselves kind of off the rails where we're making choices that don't actually align with the affirmations we're saying, with what we say we believe in. So that is on a spiritual and personal level. That's how we'll be talking about being intentional. So here's another quote from Dr. King, since I'm weaving him through our time together today. And he's talking about nonviolence. Nonviolence means avoiding not only external physical violence, but also internal violence of spirit. You not only refuse to shoot a man, you refuse to hate him. So this really links up with intention. So if we are saying we are going to be peaceful in the world, then do we have some feelings and some thoughts showing up that really are like, like we'll be looking at things like that. So I have an affirmation for us to get rolling with being intentional. Are you ready with writing it down? Okay, so I'll say it for you. You can repeat it with me, give you a minute to jot it down if you're a note taker. I express my truth by choosing thoughts, words, and actions with intention. I'll say it again. You can say it with me. I express my truth by choosing thoughts, words, and actions with intention. Okay. Now, if I move too fast, you can always ask me in our time after the service on Zoom. If you're on Zoom with me, I'll go back and repeat those for you if you need it. All right. The third breath in our annual theme is around being whole. So, wholeness is a spiritual principle, a spiritual truth that partners with all the other principles and expressions in our human lives. That expresses particularly as life, health, and well-being. Wholeness is the truth of what we are in our divine nature. So in the months that we'll be focusing on wholeness, we'll be talking about health and healing. We'll be talking about the flow of good in our life, otherwise known as prosperity. We'll be looking at applying the 12 powers, which are all spiritual principles, to our daily lives. We'll be looking at oneness teachings across faiths, because that wholeness and oneness shows up in different languages and different presentations across all faiths. We'll be looking in particular at unity metaphysics, the teachings of unity founders such as Charles and Myrtle Fillmore, Emily Cady, the author of Lessons in Truth, and Unity Minister Eric Butterworth, who's very inspirational. All of this having an eye on raising consciousness so that we can be in that awareness of our wholeness more and more and more of our time as we go through our daily lives. Now, Dr. King, since I'm weaving in Dr. King to my talk today, is he frequently in his Sunday sermons referred to the Bible, to Genesis 1:27, which says, "So God created man in his own image. In the image of God, he created him, male and female, he created them." So Dr. King was very much connected with the message of that scripture, affirming the fundamental divinity within each one of us, that we are all, in a more dated language, children of God, expressions of all that is, of that benevolent energy of the universe. Each and every one of us is an expression of that wholeness. So I have an affirmation for us for wholeness. Take a breath. Okay, here's the affirmation. Wholeness is my truth. I am one with the one. I'll say it again. You can say it with me at home. It's easy. Wholeness is my truth. I am one with the one. So again, write it down, put it on a little post-it note around here and there. Practice getting that going in your consciousness. I invite you to really lean into our annual theme for 2026. We are present to life, intentional in action, and whole in spirit. Translate that into the first person for yourself. So again, have a little note here or there. Translate it into I am present to life. I am intentional in action. I am whole in spirit. And plaster your world with it so that your brain gets the message that, hey, this is the path we are on this year. So as I wrap things up today, I'm going to return one more time to the wisdom of Dr. King, just to kind of put a bow on the package for today. This is actually a quote from an author named Pete Davis, in a writing called Dedicated. So he's talking about Dr. King. And here he says, early in his career, Martin Luther King Jr. preached about the need to have three dimensions in our life: length, breadth, and height. Length is about our connection to ourselves. Breadth is about our connection to our community, and height is about our connection to the transcendent. If these three dimensions are out of whack, King said, we will be too. So in 2026, we commit ourselves as a community to exploring and expanding these qualities of length, breadth, and height. And the insight of Dr. King with those three statements aligns perfectly with talking about being present, intentional, and whole. So we are now going to take those three words that he used, Dr. King used, and move into our time of meditation. So I invite you to take a couple of deep breaths, my friends. Just settle into this moment. Put aside anything you're holding in your hand. If you wish, you can allow your outer eyes to drift closed, or just soften your gaze so that we can be present here together. And let us bring into this time, this reflection time together. Think about length as an aspect of your life. As Dr. King said, length is about our connection to ourselves. So take a breath with that. Length is about our connection to ourselves. Allow your heart, your body, your mind to take a dive with this notion of length. Length is about our connection to ourselves. Take a breath and let's consider breadth as an aspect of your life. So, breadth is about our connection to our community. So allow your heart, your body, your mind to just explore this notion of spreading out in connection to community and the breadth of your life. Take a breath now and bring to mind the dimension of height as an aspect of your life. King said, height is about our connection to the transcendent. So allow your heart, body, and mind to explore this idea of height. Height is about our connection to the transcendent. We'll now take all of these ideas and allow them to settle and become quiet as we spend some time together in the silence. And as we begin to bring our attention back to the here and now, we do so by noticing the breath moving in and out of the body. Take a moment to listen to the sounds in the environment around you. Allow your eyes to open gently and just take a moment to just notice some things in your environment. Perhaps some decoration or a window and something out the window, or just the dimensions of the room where the ceiling meets the corner and the wall meets the floor. We're practicing being present, and we're going to close our time of meditation with an affirmation connected with this annual theme that we've been talking about today. I am grateful to be present to life, intentional in action, and whole in spirit. Say it with me at home. I am grateful to be present to life, intentional in action, and whole in spirit. So I am. And so are you, my friends. I see you right now as being grateful, present, intentional, and whole. And I'm so grateful for our time together this morning. Thank you for being here. And now I'm going to hand it over to our friend Linda to close out our broadcast time.
Thank you, Reverend Cheryl. And thank you for watching the weekly broadcast from Unity of Fredericksburg. Visit our website, uofva.org, to learn more about our mission of spiritual awakening and transformation and support our ministry.